This conference will now be recorded.
Heather Lewis. I can't hear anybody.
No, he's not here.
Thomas LaPera. Okay, no Heather. Rebecca
Here.
Smith.
Here.
And Derek Perry.
Here. So we have Val and Councilwoman Lewis
Heather.
are here today. Can we have a motion to approve or amend the meeting minutes from last meeting?
Motion to approve.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Today we did not have an executive session. And Kevin, will you be leading us in the Citizens Leadership Academy?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Council President Perry, and good evening, members of council and everyone else here. Just a couple of weeks ago, we finished up with our latest cohort for the Citizens Leadership Academy. This is a program that's been going on since 2014, either once a year or sometimes even twice a year. Obviously, 2020 threw a wrench into things, so we didn't have the class last year, but earlier this year, Crandall Jones came to me and said, you know, the municipal elections are coming up this year, so let's jumpstart the program again and get people involved and see how the local government works, and, you know, just build a class around it, and, you know, let's get this going for the spring. And I was more than happy to do that. I was extremely happy to lead the class and really get people involved with their local government and see how all of our different departments work. And I was happy to have all the support of our department heads who came in during their respective weeks and really gave a lot of information to all the participants in the class. This year, because of the Municipal Hall renovations, we were hosted by the Montgomery County Intermediate Unit on West Lafayette Street. They hosted us for 7 weeks from early April to mid-May. And in total, we had 16 people apply to the class. In the end, 10 persons completed it. The only requirement we had was that they came to 5 of the 7 classes, and we had 10 people who did just that. A lot of people actually came every week, and they were so excited to come. They always had tons of questions. They were really engaged and really wanted to know everything that happens with our different departments and making sure that the municipality is running efficiently. So I just have to share my screen for 1 second. I know we have a number of our callers, a number of our participants on the call tonight. So I just want to share their certificates if it will pop up on the screen. I'm not having much luck with that, so I will just go right to their names. So the persons who completed the Spring 2021 Citizens Leadership Academy were Stephanie Anderson, Lavinia Chestnut, Aldrich Gessa, former Councilman David Hodo, Ariana Queenan, Dustin Queenan, Raymond Rios III, Bill Rudolph, Anna Santoyo, and Kelly Voiton. I know a lot of these participants are definitely going to be involved in our local government in some way. They're so driven, so motivated. They all want to participate somehow in some capacity. And I know some of them you will be seeing on council, perhaps very soon. Others are more than wanting to be involved in our many boards and commissions, and they just really want to volunteer the best way that they can. They're so excited, and I'm just so happy that they could be my first class, and I'm looking forward to see what they all do with all this knowledge that they got from doing the Citizens Leadership Academy. So with that, I will take any questions from council.
Council, any questions or comments? Councilwoman Smith?
No questions. I just want to thank Kevin for putting his time and energy into running the Citizens Leadership Academy, and thank all of the people who participated. I know President Perry and Councilman Jones were with me for council night, and It was really clear to me that everybody who was there was engaged in some really thoughtful questions and considerations about Norristown. And so that was really great to see, and I can't wait to see you all stay involved.
Council, any other questions or comments? Councilman Jones.
Yeah, I agree with Councilwoman Smith. It was good talking to everybody and learning about the experience that they had, and even learning about our departments and how they're doing, serving the community. And it was good touching on our journeys on how many of us become elected officials. And yeah, it was a good program. So keep up the good work, Kevin.
Thank you, and I definitely thank council for all of your support in letting us do this year, and hopefully we'll be doing many more in the years to come. So thank you all so much.
Council, any other questions or comments? Well, Kev, thanks again. Echoing everybody else, it was a pleasure even just coming there, just getting everyone's questions and then finding out possibly what we go through, but learning the whole process of council and what we specifically do and how everything operates. I'm pretty sure it could be more detailed, but we got to keep it short, but that's good. But we appreciate everyone for definitely participating. We definitely hope to see you in the future. And Kev, usually what they do is they have a person who from the class speak in regards to their experience. And do you have anyone in mind?
I didn't know if we were supposed to have someone speak from the class, but if you want to open it up to maybe someone who's on the call, I'm more than okay with that.
Miss Santoyo. No, I see her in the corner.
Hey, how are you?
Hi there. I'm so sorry. I'm out with my friend for her birthday, but I still wanted to check in and just thank you, Kevin, and thank you to all for the class. And I do look forward to continuing to meet you and work with you all and support the community. Thank you so much. Be well.
You too. So hold on, any last words before we move on? Mr. Hodo.
Good evening, Council.
Okay.
This is Lavinia Chestnut speaking. I'm sorry, I'm on a phone call. So I just wanted to say thank you for meeting all of you and giving me an opportunity to learn how things are run in Norristown and actually given the opportunity to become a part of Norristown. And I hope to work with you guys soon. And good luck to everyone and good evening.
All right, thank you all. Thank you. All right, Kev, thank you for your time. And thank you everyone for, like I said, giving us a couple weeks of your time to learn about the government and what specifically that we do here. All right, Vice President LaPere, any announcements?
Yes, starting Tuesday, June 15th, council will be back in session in-person meetings, and they will be held at the MCIU. I believe the staff is looking into streaming options right now for everybody that can't make it still. That's all.
Council, any other? Councilman Jones.
Yes, just wanted to share an event that's taking place this Saturday. The Put Your Part in the Pipeline will take place Saturday, June 5th at Buddy's Barbershop at 2 p.m. The Pennsylvania Pardon Board Secretary will be speaking and meeting with Norristown residents discussing the pardon process when it comes to criminal backgrounds, more particularly felonies. So 2 p.m. this Saturday at Buddy's Barbershop, which is Penn Street, corner of Penn Street and Green Street.
Council, any other questions or comments? I'm sorry, any other announcements? Councilwoman Sanders.
Yes, I don't have the specific date, but I do know that Battle of the Badges is taking place with the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office against the Norristown Police Department and the Norristown Fire Department. So I'm not sure if Kevin actually has that date on hand or if Crandall has that date.
It's June 8th.
June 8th, yeah. I look forward to avenging a bitter loss from Chief Talbot and Chief O'Donnell. I'm still licking my wounds. We'll see what happens this year. So.
Any other announcements? Oh, yeah, I have one. Obviously, some of the people on this line from the Citizens Leadership here and care about Norristown. Well, one thing that we always do every year is rock the block, Habitat for Humanity, which is this Saturday. I know you can come and join Councilwoman Smith. I know she's been there before, and all the council members. I know we were there last year. But it's time to clean up our town, to be part of something that everybody says every day, and that's to be part of the change, right, that we want to see. So get out, rock the block. I think it's at 8 o'clock. They will do certain sites. You can actually do your own block and get some of your residents, knock on the doors, and have a nice little community event for your whole block, and clean up your block, or whatever you like. I know I'll be down on Main Street, cleaning up Main Street area, the county property. So, any other announcements? Okay. Madam Secretary, do you have any public comments?
Yes, we do. The first one's from Anna Santoyo. Dear council members, I first want to thank my current 3rd District Council representatives, Valerie Moman, and every Norristown council member, past and present, for their years of dedication to the community. It is a big responsibility and time commitment. I want to congratulate Dustin Queenan and Valerie Moman for their success in an exciting and competitive primary election campaign. As a Pennsylvania licensed social worker, trauma professional, and Spanish bilingual, please do not hesitate to contact me if I may be of service to you and members of the Norristown community anytime in the future. I am resubmitting 2 items I would like Norristown Council to consider and provide me with a timely written response. Number 1, public records show that Norristown will receive over $21 million from the Federal American Rescue Act, which must be used by the end of 2024. A plan should be developed and presented as soon as possible with input from Norristown residents in the assessment and allocation of these funds. In my opinion, first priority should be given to transitional and permanent supportive housing for the current homeless population of Norristown. Second priority should be to children with high risk factors and their caregivers, including investing in summer and after-school programs so parents can go to work and children are safe and nurtured. What is planned for the use of these and future federal pandemic-related funds? Number 2, I recommend Norristown Council work sessions should also be videotaped and held to the same standards as the monthly council meetings. I attended the last work session where numerous resolutions and votes were held and significant information was presented and discussed. Norristown residents should be able to view these meetings, and council members should be accountable for their actions in these meetings. I also recommend future in-person council meetings and work sessions should continue to be available to residents virtually and telephonically. Sorry, hold on a second. Virtually and telephonically, and I lost it. Hold on a second. Telephonically to encourage greater participation by Norristown residents. Thank you for your time and consideration of these recommendations. I look forward to your thoughts and decisions on these ideas. Respectfully, Anna Santoyo. And the second one is from Jarrell Elder, 120 Stanbridge Street. I was wondering if funds were still available from the lead rehabilitation program. Is there a time frame on when federal funds must be released? Are there records kept on how much of these funds were used? And that one ends right there. And that's it.
Everyone, thank you for your comment. And then I know Ms. Massonier will be able to answer the one question, correct?
Yes, pertaining to the federal led funds.
Yes.
We currently, we're not direct recipients of the lead funds. They usually go through the county, but the county had let us know that we could go after the funds. I do know the notice of funding was made public, and I'll be glad to follow up and let council know where we are with that. Next meeting.
I didn't want you to answer. I just wanted you to, if you can email him,
Sorry.
know the processes. That's okay. No problem. I will now open the floor up to any public comment. If you would like to make a public comment, I will give you an opportunity to do that as of right now before our meeting starts. As public comment is not a back and forth, you make a public comment and we will answer at a later date. And these have always been the laws of Norristown. Anyone have a public comment? Okay, seeing none, we will move on. Thank you. Firefighter appointment and Norristown Fire Department, are you ready?
Ready, Municipal Council.
Hey, Chief, how you doing today?
Good, Mr. President. How are you?
All right, good. Am I reading something, Chief, or are you reading something?
Should be the oath of office for a firefighter. You should have it on your print note.
I have to go into a whole bunch of stuff as these screens are all over the place. Okay, Mr. Conboy, are you ready?
Yep.
All right. I, Ryan Conboy, do solemnly swear or affirm.
Solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear or affirm.
Solemnly swear or affirm.
That I will support.
That I will support.
Obey.
Obey.
And defend the Constitution of the United States of America.
And defend the Constitution of the United States of America.
The Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
The Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
The Charter of the Municipality of Norristown.
The Charter of the Municipality of Norristown.
And the laws of Pennsylvania and the Municipality of Norristown.
And the laws and the Charter of the Municipality of Norristown.
And the laws of Pennsylvania and the Municipality of Norristown.
Laws of Pennsylvania and the Municipality of Norristown.
I will discharge the duties of my office.
I will discharge the duties of my office.
As firefighter for the Municipality of Norristown Fire Department.
As firefighter for the Municipality of Norristown Fire Department.
With honor and fidelity.
With honor and fidelity.
I will uphold.
I will uphold.
Obey.
Obey.
And enforce the laws of Pennsylvania.
And enforce the laws of Pennsylvania.
And the Municipality of Norristown.
And the Municipality of Norristown.
Without consideration to a person's race.
Without consideration to a person's race.
Color.
Color.
Sex.
Sex.
Religious creed.
Religious creed.
Sexual orientation.
Sexual orientation.
Age.
Age.
Natural origin.
Sexual origin.
Natural origin.
I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing.
That's okay. Natural origin.
Natural origin.
Ancestry.
Ancestry.
Handicap.
Handicap.
or disability.
or disability.
Welcome, welcome to Norristown. We appreciate you being here. That was so hard. Welcome, welcome. Thanks, guys. Enjoy the rest of your night and welcome to Norristown. Appreciate you. Chief Talbot, can we have resolution number 21-53, please?
Sir. Excuse me. Resolution 2153 is a request to approve contracts to lease purchase and upfit 4 new police vehicles. We want to purchase 4 2021 Ford Interceptor hybrid SUV police vehicles and have them upfitted with the necessary equipment. We worked with finance and Robbie at the garage to decide which vehicles we're desperately in need of replacing. And the 4 that are listed here, 5214, 27, 35, and 40, all have very high mileage and high engine hours. Robbie lays out in a lot of detail the implications of the high hours, on the vehicles, and why it makes sense to replace these vehicles now. So if we order these cars now, they'll be received in the next month. Anything that's ordered later than this, we won't get till the first quarter of 2022. Fleet manager Robbie Romano has requested quotes for 4 new vehicles and upfitting in accordance with the code. The recommended vendor is Chapman Ford. Total pricing is $39,320 for a 2021 hybrid vehicle like we're requesting. We intend to use the same upfitter as we normally use for the upfitting. It's $17,200 with all the related equipment. The total is $68,800. Other details are important, and it later here we try to make sure to use the same upfitter so that when the police officers get in the vehicle, everything is in the same place, all the vehicles, so that you can develop that memory where everything is, the in-car computer and all the equipment, that sort of thing. We've also seen extensive savings on fuel charges with these hybrid vehicles, so it makes the a little bit of a higher price worth it, and when it comes to what it actually costs with the gas savings. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Council, any questions or comments for Chief? Okay, seeing none, can we have a motion to pass resolution number 21-53, which is to purchase 4 2021 Ford Interceptor hybrid SUV police vehicles and have them upfitted with necessary equipment to include in-car cameras, systems, and computers.
So moved.
Second.
Madam Secretary, can we have roll call, please?
Hakeem Jones,
Aye.
Sonia Sanders,
Aye.
Heather Lewis,
Aye.
Rebecca Smith,
Aye.
Thomas LaPera,
Aye.
Derek Perry.
Aye, the ayes have it. Resolution number 21-53 passes. Mr. Denningbo, can you lead us in ordinance 21-09, please?
Yes, Mr. President. Good evening, Council. Ordinance. This was presented to Council in the last Council workshop We have gone through the normal process of advertisement. So this is now a request for council to approve the ordinance 21-09, chapter 278 ordinance upgrade. The ordinance 21-09 amends the municipal chapter 278 streets and sidewalk to include adding insurance requirements for contractors, creating procedure for homeowners to provide surety, not surety bond, for right-of-way projects, creating contractor registration requests, and then actually upgrading certain outdated languages that are in the present ordinance. So this is what this is all about. And I'll be ready to answer questions that the council will have.
Council, do you have any questions or comment? Councilman Jones.
Yes, Tom. So I think we were talking about this at our last meeting. If I'm a homeowner, and I have to repair my sidewalks, what kind of costs or financial addition does that incur on me as a homeowner? And my second question is this something that we see that lands people in civil court, these type of circumstances without a surety bond?
Yeah, I'm not going to talk about the legal issue, but I'm going to tell you what this applies to the homeowner. This costs the homeowner nothing. What this is all about is that if a homeowner, if you're a contractor, that you're doing a sidewalk for a homeowner, to protect the homeowner, then you get a surety bond in case there's any deficiency whatsoever.
You just muted out, Thomas.
You muted yourself.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm going to start it all over again. This costs the homeowner absolute nothing, more or less. If you're a contractor working for a homeowner, then you are going to be required to get a surety bond. A surety bond is like a warranty that you've done this job. So if the homeowner has any problem with what you've done, he can really go after you. But if a homeowner is doing this job himself, you are the owner of the home, you are doing it yourself, you are not required to get a surety bond. What we are going to do is that you deposit 2 times the cost of permit fee. Using a typical example, most permit fees for sidewalk is less than $30. Some of them are even $10. So what it really means is that a homeowner will deposit $20. When he's done with the job and he's certified, he collects his $20 back. Or if it is a job that requires a permit fee of $30, he's going to deposit $60. As soon as he's done with his job, then he gets his money back. So more or less, this cleans up something for the homeowner. But this is for a homeowner that is doing the job himself. So I don't know if this addresses your question, Councilman Jones.
Yeah, definitely it did. Thank you.
Yeah.
Council, Vice President LaPierre.
Thomas, how much would the surety bond cost a contractor?
The surety bond is costing the contractor what is costing them now. As a matter of fact, what we have done nothing about surety bond, Councilman, Vice President. The surety bond, what we've done here is to make sure that contractors do not abandon projects in the community, which they have been doing for years. There are many jobs that are abandoned in this community. Surety bond has been, well, this was reviewed by council. This was updated last in 2006. And in 2006, there is surety bond there. What it really says that for every job you are doing in the community, you are going to provide a surety bond of 5,000. So what it really means is that if you're doing a job of 20,000 and you provide a surety bond of 5,000, if you have problem with this job, there's no person that can go after you. So we have had this problem all over the community. So what this has done is that this now says that if you are doing a job that is more than 5,000, you are going to provide a surety bond that is equal, that is the cost of the job. So this surety bond has been there, and I'm just want to say it. This is already more or less in effect, and no person has complained about it, not even one single complaint.
I'm really going to answer my question, but what I'm trying to say is I'm not as naive to think that whatever it costs the contractor to get the bond, that it's not costing the homeowner. The contractor's not just picking up the tab for the cost of the bond. It's going to trickle down to the homeowner. It always does. And
but Councilman,
bond.
Vice President, if a contractor cannot provide a surety bond in this community, he does not need to work here. It means that he's not a good contractor.
I'm sure they can.
A contractor that cannot warranty his job does not really need to work in this community, because you are making the supervision of that job very, very difficult for us.
I just got to disagree with you, because every surrounding community around us does not require surety bond. There's the problems aren't there. So I'm just saying,
Norristown,
which trickles down to the homeowner. And if you say there's no complaints about it, maybe you just haven't heard, because I've got a couple, and I'll forward them to you. But that's all.
Council, any other questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, can we have a motion to request council to approve ordinance 21-09, which amends the municipality chapter 278, streets and sidewalks, to include adding insurance requirements for contractors, creating procedures for homeowners to provide surety bonds for right-of-way projects, creating contractor registration requirements, and updating outdated terminology.
So moved.
Second.
Madam Secretary, can we have roll call, please?
Hakeem Jones?
No.
No. Sonia Sanders?
Aye.
Heather Lewis?
Aye.
Rebecca Smith?
Aye.
Thomas LaPera?
Nay.
Derek Perry?
Aye. The ayes have it. Ordinance 21-09 passes. Mr. Jones, can you lead us in what's not on the agenda first?
Thank you, Mr. President. Council, I'm sure you received a text from me today, and I realized at about 5:30 or so that the email I had sent you had bounced back to me, so I resent it once I emailed you. But pretty much the text covered what was in the email. As you know, we have been well. First, I think we need to open the agenda, Sean. We need to do that. So this item, council, is a request of council to open the agenda to discuss and hopefully approve a lease agreement for temporary relocation of our salt barn and facilities currently on site at Municipal Hall in order for the construction work on the building and the parking lot to proceed.
Can we have a motion to open up public meeting for the temporary location of Public Works salt barn and dumpster in order to accommodate construction needs for the municipality?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, Mr. Jones, can you lead us, please?
Thank you so much. So again, as a part of the process of trying to identify spaces, we spent a good deal of time, myself, the Public Works Director, Mr. Odenabo, solicitor, and the municipal engineer trying to identify space that would be adequate for temporary use while the construction of Municipal Hall is underway. We finally got to a point where the space over on Sturgis Street was identified. I'm sorry, on Stanbridge Street was identified in the industrial park over there, and Weber was contacted, the property owners contacted Weber Real Estate Holdings, and we were able to negotiate and agree upon terms for a short-term lease, short-term being up to 18 months of the space while this construction is going on. In doing this, we would put a lock and a fence and a lock to secure our portion of the parking lot, which will house our salt barn and some other materials that Public Works uses. And the rate that we agreed upon would be $1,000 a month for it. The solicitor negotiated with us the contract, looked over it, and it has agreed with the contract as to form, and so we're ready to proceed with this. And the sooner we move the salt barn and get these items relocated, the contractor can occupy more space, and as well as other contractors occupy more space, so that the major construction on the building and as a whole will begin. So what our request is that council would pass a resolution authorizing the municipality to get into a lease agreement with Weber Real Estate LLC for a municipal shed at 1310 Stanbridge Street.
All right, since it is a public meeting currently right now, I am going to open up to the public to ask any questions, or if you have a comment in regards to this resolution. Any questions or comments? Okay, council, I will direct it to you now. Any questions or comments? Councilman Jones.
Yes, Crandall, quick question. You said 18 months at $1,000 a month, and then obviously there's going to be some cost to move all the equipment, the salt, the everything. Is what kind of total cost are we looking at? And is that money coming from the capital plan when it comes to the municipal complex?
Yes, sir, it is. The Public Works is going to actually do the transport of the salt and materials there. We did secure a covering to go over the salt so that it wouldn't be dissolved by rain and as well. And then we also procured some blocks to do that. So in all, it's going to be about $53,000 worth of costs related to making the move. The structure that we're going to use is actually we'll be able to reuse it because we anticipate in the long term that we will identify another spot for a Public Works facility for the salt barn because the parking lot is really needed, particularly in this new design and layout to enhance police operations, especially is going to be needed. So this gives us some more time to identify some more permanent space. And once we identify that space, we'll actually be able to pick up and move the facility that we have, that we're going to put this into a permanent location as well. And as you said, yes, it will come out of the CIP program.
Council, any other questions or comments? Okay, Can we have a motion to close public meeting in regards to the temporary location for public works, salt barn, and dumpster in order to accommodate construction needs for Municipal Hall?
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Since it's a resolution, Mr. President, we approval of the resolution by vote.
Yep, I'm going there. I just needed to close it. I needed to close the meeting, to close the public meeting.
I jumped ahead of you. I'm sorry.
What do you want me to make it? Resolution 21?
56.
21-56, okay.
Yes.
Can we have a motion to pass resolution number 21-56, which is to find a temporary location for a public works salt barn and dumpster in order to accommodate construction needs for the Municipal Hall site on Stanbridge Street in the amount of $1,000 per month?
Second.
Madam Secretary, can we have roll call, please?
Hakeem Jones,
Aye.
Sonia Sanders,
Aye.
Heather Lewis,
Aye.
Rebecca Smith,
Aye.
Thomas LaPera,
Aye.
Derek Perry.
Aye, the ayes have it. Resolution 21-56 passes. Mr. Jones, can you lead us in resolution 21-30, please?
Thank you, Mr. President. So Council Resolution 21-30 is a request of council to approve a 3-year lease agreement with IPS Global for photocopiers for the municipality. We are in August going to be at the end of a 5-year lease purchase, actually 5-year purchase agreement for the existing photocopiers. As you know, technology ages quickly, and we are having those technological issues already with these copiers. But what we've done over the course of time is, even within the existing contract, we kind of right-sized what our needs are, and decided that actually we'd be better served by going with a lease instead of a purchase agreement. We went to the CoStarz, the state purchasing program, looked at several vendors and decided IPS was the best for us. The good news is that the current purchase price, if we went back with Konica printers, what we have now, we looked at them on the CoStarz as well, it'd be about $15,000 a year if we got into an agreement with them. About $15,000, $332.64 a quarter, which would be about $331,000 a year. We liked better the IPS because that's about $9,158 a quarter and about $36,634 a year, which roughly is a savings of about $24,696, almost $697 per year. About a 40% reduction in our annual operating costs related to copier services. We didn't want to enter into an agreement with Konica anyway, because I think anybody who works in the facility can attest to their service has not been the greatest. And so because this is a much better deal for our bottom line, and we like what we've seen in terms of the review of them, we're recommending that council approve resolution 21-30, which gets us into a lease agreement for the next 3 years at the cost of $110,000.
Council, any questions or comments? I have one, just so the people know on this call. Can you give us can you tell us what CoStarz is and specifically why we use CoStarz in government?
Sure. CoStarz is a state purchasing program. Most states have a state purchasing program. That's the state purchasing program in the Commonwealth. And what that is a group a purchase where the state has actually bid out a number of services and equipments that are typically used by local governments and the state government. And because they do such a bid and it's available to all communities within the state, you get some of the best rates. With doing that, it saves communities time and money in going through the process. And for services like this, we typically look there first to see if there's an opportunity for savings, and once we identify it, we go. So it's typically used by most communities in the country. Some version.
All right, thank you for the detailed information. Council, any other questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, can we have a motion to pass Resolution 21-30, which is to approve resolution authorizing the 3-year lease agreement in the amount of $110,000 with IPS Global for copier services?
Motion.
Second.
Madam Secretary, can I have a roll call, please?
Hakeem Jones. You there? Okay. Sonia Sanders.
Aye.
Heather Lewis.
Aye.
Rebecca Smith.
Aye.
Thomas LaPera.
Aye.
Derek Perry.
Aye, the ayes have it. Resolution 21-30 passes. Mr. Jones, can you lead us, or Mr. Kilkenny, in regards to resolution 20-55, please?
I'll be happy to, as a follow-up to a discussion that I had with President Perry on last week. One of the things that's being recognized nationally is June as LGBT plus Pride Month. And certainly the municipality, I can't believe it, when it was, Sean, was it 3 years ago? 4 years ago, council passed legislation protecting against discrimination for the LGBT community. And this is certainly a continuation of that. And just wanted to acknowledge, and council wants the opportunity to acknowledge and recognize that the municipality respects the dignity and value of people of different persuasions when it comes to their sexual identity. And so we had this resolution drafted for council consideration. Mr. President, I didn't know if you wanted to read it, or if you wanted me to read it, I'd be happy to do it.
Yeah. I had to make sure my mic was on. Well, first of all, council, any questions or comments? I just have one. One thing that I know this council takes great pride in is making sure that no one goes unrecognized or represented in this community. And another thing that we also take pride in is that we do it for everyone. We don't just take pride for one or against the other. And so we are definitely happy to pass this resolution with pride, obviously, because we love everyone. So, and that's what we're here to do. We're here in these seats to make sure that, you know, we are helping people at all means. So The municipality of Norristown is going to pass resolution number 21-55, which is recognizing June 2021 as LGBTQ plus Pride Month. Whereas the municipality of Norristown cherishes the value and dignity of each person and appreciates the importance of equality and freedom. And all are welcome in the municipality of Norristown to live, work, play, and every family in any shape deserves a place to call home where they are safe, happy, and supported by friends and neighbors. And the municipality denounces prejudice and unfair discrimination based on age, gender identity, gender expression, race, color, religion, marital status, national origin, sexual orientation, or physical attributes as an affront to our fundamental principles. And Pride Month begins in June of 1969 on the one-year anniversary of the Stonewall Uprising in New York City after LGBTQ plus and allied friends rose up and fought against the constant police harassment and discriminatory laws that have since been declared unconstitutional. And the municipality appreciates the culture, civic and economic contributions of lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, LGBTQ plus community, which strengthen our social welfare, and it is imperative that young people in our community, regardless of sexual orientation, gender identity, and expression, feel valued, safe, empowered, and supported by their peers and community leaders. And despite being marginalized, LGBTQ plus people contribute to celebrate authenticity, acceptance, and love. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the members of this municipal council declare the month of June 2021 as LGBTQ plus Pride Month in the municipality of Norristown and urge residents to recognize the contributions made by members of the LGBTQ plus community and actively promote the principles of equality, liberty, and justice. And on this day, June 1st, 2021. So I will say, can we have a motion to pass resolution number 21-55, which is recognizing June 2021 as LGBTQ plus Pride Month?
So moved.
Second.
Madam Secretary, can we have roll call, please?
Hakeem Jones. Sonia Sanders.
Aye.
Heather Lewis.
Aye.
Rebecca Smith.
Aye.
Thomas LaPera.
Aye.
Derek Perry.
Aye. The ayes have it. Resolution number 21-55 passes. And Ms. Feister, can you lead us in resolution 21-54, please?
Yes, thank you. Resolution 2154 is a request for council to approve the resolution implementing a tax and lien settlement authorization policy in an effort to more efficiently address and resolve minor Act 511 taxes and trash fee settlement matters. Some of the facts surrounding what we're proposing is that there'll be no abatement or reduction of the principal amount. The penalties and interest may be abated or reduced up to a maximum of $5,000. And both the municipal administrator and the director of finance must both agree to the terms of the proposed settlement. The reason we're doing this is there's a lot of little, not a lot, several little settlement issues that come up. And we have an option of either bringing them before council, or sometimes the homeowner wants to bring them to court. And just to save time and money and to quickly resolve these issues and get the money, that's why we're proposing this resolution.
Thank you. Council, any questions or comments? Councilman Jones.
Yes, Ms. Spicer, is this resolution practice being done other places? It sounds like something we didn't have in place. Have you seen good outcomes of these type of actions when it comes to taxes and unpaid parties?
I'm not sure. We worked along with the solicitor to put this together, and they actually recommended it. I don't know, Sean, if you can speak to
Sure.
whatever.
My colleague Patrick Hitchens, I believe, worked with you, Kathy, and administration on this. Yeah, because statutorily, not anything Norristown does, fees and interests pile up very quickly in these matters. So the thought is rather than settlements on some of the smaller issues with council, it might be easier to go ahead and streamline this and work with, have the administration work with individual taxpayers and ratepayers to go ahead and solve the issue without all of them coming to council. I believe that was the thought process, Miss Kathy, is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, and I can say other municipalities we represent do have similar policies. The one that comes to mind is Upper Moreland, the Willow Grove area. They have a similar policy and tend to work things out.
I guess a follow-up question to that is, so is council going to become less aware of who is struggling with tax payments and who might be looking at some type of, court involvement?
So you can, of course, always request that information from the administration. That being said, no, those smaller matters would not come before you. So that's a judgment call for council.
Council, any other questions or comments? Council Vice President LaPera.
Is there you did say there was like a cap of this is just for small matters, not some of the bigger
What was
taxes.
it, 5,000, Kathy? Or what was
Yes,
it?
it's not for principal. Principals stay the same, just interest and penalties.
Okay.
Council, any other questions or comments? Councilwoman Lewis.
Act 511 taxes, trash fee, settlement matters, is that the exhaustive list of liens under this ordinance, or does that also include sewer?
It will not include sewer.
Thank you.
Council, any other questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, can we have a motion to pass resolution 21-54, which is the request for council to approve policy to authorize and grant the municipal administrator and director of finance settlement authority in certain tax lien and fee matters?
So moved.
Second.
Madam Secretary, can we have roll call, please?
Hakeem Jones,
Aye.
Sonia Sanders,
Aye.
Heather Lewis,
Aye.
Rebecca Smith,
Aye.
Thomas LaPera,
Aye.
Derek Perry.
Aye, the ayes have it. Resolution 21-54 passes. Well, we are at the end at the departmental reports. Chief Talbot, can you lead us, please?
Sure. Obviously, we have a time of change and transition right now. Crandall and I have talked repeatedly and often about having a good plan in place, so don't have any concerns there. That's going to make sure that happens seamlessly. We're also working hard to make sure we minimize the impact of renovations, and that has gone fairly well so far. No concern either. We've seen spikes in crime, for instance, auto theft, 39 this year over 22 last year. Aggravated assaults are 29 this year versus 22 last year. Overall, the numbers are flat. We are almost exactly where we were in total serious crimes this year versus last year. And even with the spikes, the numbers are still in the expected range. So we are performing well. Surprisingly, theft from motor vehicle, very often in hard economic times, you could see property crimes rise quickly and in a sustained way, but we've seen a fairly significant decrease in theft from motor vehicles, down 32% over where it was last year, 38 versus 56. Retail thefts are also down substantially. So overall, performance is good, and our mission now obviously is to make sure we navigate our transition as well as possible. And that's my report.
Council, any questions or comments? Chief Talbot. Councilman Jones.
Thanks, Chief. I have a question. Obviously with the summer coming and sometimes violence spiking and sometimes shootings and are you guys coming across increased levels of firearms and are you having experience with these ghost guns and fox guns that many youth are getting their hands on? Is this anything that's coming across your department?
Yeah, we actually have come across a couple of ghost guns. It hasn't been a problem in Norristown, it's been filled some of the bigger. We also have a really good system in place to make sure that we know who's likely to somebody. I mean, we have a good handle on our shooters, and that we've arrested in certain parts of the community historically with guns in their hands. We had last night's a good example. Just before midnight last night, we had a shooting in the 500 block of Green Street, which has been a location that we've struggled with for a long time. One of the first things that I want to know when we have an incident like that is, when did we have contact with people before? And the question speaks to, if we were in contact with them before, did we do the right thing to keep them from shooting somebody or getting shot? Yesterday was a total aberration. It was a couple of 2 female victims, which is in itself unusual. But the male suspect was from Philadelphia. We never had any contact with him. We didn't have any contact with the female related to any violence. We ended up arresting the shooter at the transportation center before he was able to get his butt back to Philadelphia. So with our shootings, we pay attention to the people that are likely to pull a trigger and the locations where it's likely to happen. And we pay a lot of attention after the fact to what happened that led up to this incident, and did we miss something upstream? I think we're all good in all those areas. I think it's fairly early to say whether or not the ghost gun thing is going to be a urban disaster, because that's what happens with gun violence in public spaces. It hits urban communities much harder than it hits any place else. Nobody really knows. Clearly, it's a loophole that somebody needs to close really quickly. It's hard in terms of evidence. Obviously, there are no serial numbers there to track down, and it's finding out where they came from is next to impossible. But I don't have any doubts that we will continue in the Norristown Police Department to be successful in dealing with fatal and non-fatal shootings. I think you can still have a lot of confidence that we'll be on top of it.
Council, any other questions or comments? My question, Chief, to go off of Councilman Jones' question to you is, a lot of people always try to say, oh, Norristown, this is typical Norristown. And I know we've talked before in regards to the comparisons and shootings from here in the urban communities compared to other communities. Can you give us a breakdown of what we look like compared to what other communities look like? I mean, if you can.
I mean, if you look at, even if you look at smaller cities, we are doing significantly better than other urban environments. So at some point in the next year or two, the number will come out that show the spike that actually began before the pandemic, right? 2015 was the year, I'm sorry. So 2014 was the year where everybody was looking at good numbers across the country. 15, 16, 17, 18, the numbers started to creep up. And then the pandemic hit and just crazy numbers in small and big cities that you haven't seen since the 90s, which ended the big crime years. We are not seeing that. We continue to drive the numbers down. We saw a little bit of a spike, but again, we're down 50% over what we were years ago. So just the way the numbers work, you can't drive them down. Unfortunately, you're not going to drive them down to zero. It's just not going to happen when you live in a country where there are more guns than there are people. But in terms of comparing us to what it used to look like, we're doing exceptionally well. And it's not even a close call when you compare Norristown to other urban environments. We're doing extremely well. And, to some degree, things, it is always going to be something that we struggle with until somebody makes different decisions on a national level, maybe even on a state level, about how are we going to deal with the gun violence challenge in this country. But I feel really good about how we've done with the local challenge operation.
Yeah, thank you. Another question for you is in regards to youth. Have you seen a spike in youth carrying guns around? I know we've been seeing a lot of stuff on the internet and Facebook and YouTube and you name it in this community. How are we dealing with that?
So no spike. I think what we're missing sometimes when we see this, you really have to pay close attention to rates of gun violence, and it is a separate question. I think you ask it in the right way. It's a separate question. How many people are carrying guns that shouldn't be carrying guns is a separate question from how many people are shooting and getting shot. Guns have started to become the new way that people can't make money otherwise, or finding a quick way to make money selling guns. Being a drug dealer isn't nearly as profitable as some people would think. If your vision of a drug dealer is like New Jack City, it typically doesn't work like that. You mostly end up broke. By the time you go to jail and you pay your attorney's fees, you don't end up with a whole lot of money. Unfortunately, and obviously I'm not trying to advertise, but selling guns has become a mechanism to fill that financial void. So we are seeing that. We've seen a couple. We had a fairly prominent case early last year, I think it was, where a bunch of local kids found themselves a cache of weapons. And I spent a lot of time watching those kids on surveillance films, and they are absolutely kids just like you and I were when we were 15, 16, 17 years old, messing around with their buddies in the backyard, laughing and joking, and got a little side hustle going on, selling guns. No real violence connected to the group, but obviously it's not what we want them to do. So it's part of the challenge that we've got to navigate. But again, I think the numbers, I think it's really important to look and see what the actual numbers tell us, as opposed to believe that there's some kind of, if you listen to some people, you would think that every other kid is carrying a gun. That is far from accurate. It is a significantly small percentage of the population, very, very small percentage of the population.
Thanks, Chief. Council, any other questions or comments? All right, thank you. Here we go. I got one last one. When is your last day?
July 1st.
All right. Okay, thanks, Chief. I don't think Chief O'Donnell is on here. That's okay, and we will go to code enforcement. Mr. Singh.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, Municipal Council. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to provide a brief update regarding the department's operations. The data I'm going to share is from the time periods of January 1, 2021 to today, June 1st, and we'll be comparing the data from the same time period from last year. I'm pleased to report continued improvement in our efficiency and productivity, and positive increases overall in our department's operations. In 2021, we have issued 1,403 quick tickets, which is a 219% increase from this time last year. We have performed 240 rental inspections, which is an increase of 87.5% from this time last year. We have performed 361 property transfer inspections, which is a 178% increase from this time last year. And just to touch on that line item a little bit further, we are seeing a significant increase of properties currently changing hands, just like all of the other jurisdictions in the Philly metro area. There are a lot of properties currently being sold. As a matter of fact, we've already done 361 this year, where all of last year we did 616 property transfers. So there are a lot of properties currently being sold and changing hands in Norristown. Permit-wise, we've issued 434 permits, which is almost a 27% increase from this time last year. We have performed 807 permit inspections, which is a 37.5% increase from this time last year. And our revenue collection is also up by almost 19% from this time last year. And we are currently working, Mr. Jones and I have been diligently working on numerous projects, such as updating and amending our current property maintenance code. As you all may recall, at the last workshop meeting on May 19th, Municipal Council reviewed and authorized the updates and amendments to our Chapter 239 to create the Norristown Building Safety, Property Maintenance, and Housing Code. And we are also currently working with the Municipal Solicitor's Office to bring before you the ordinance at the upcoming workshop meeting on June 15th. At the June 15th workshop meeting, we will also be bringing before you some additional proposed updates to the code and request authorization to update some code sections under Chapter 241 related to property transfers and Chapter 251 related to contractor licensing requirements. And with these updates, which have already been authorized by council, and I'm hopeful with the proposed updates we will be sharing at the next workshop meeting to Chapter 241 and 251, that all of these improvements to our municipal codes will continue to help increase health, safety, and welfare for all who live, work, play, visit, and worship, learn, and invest in Norristown, and will protect property owners' investments, hold contractors accountable, and continue to further advance municipal council's mission, vision, and goals to help increase safety, the quality of life, and maintaining and increasing property values in Norristown. And that is all I have, Mr. President. Thank you, Council.
Thank you, Mr. Singh. Any questions for Mr. Singh in the Code Department? All right, thank you, Mr. Singh. And
Mr. President,
yes,
before you move toward adjournment, I did want to, I'm not sure that council actually voted on the resolution to appoint firefighter Conboy. I think in the remoteness of it, we talked about it, but I'm not sure if you voted. You might have, but I don't have a note that you did.
no problem. Can we have
resolution 21-48?
Can we have a motion to approve resolution 21-48 to hire firefighter
It's Ryan Conboy.
Ryan Conboy is an entry-level firefighter.
So moved.
Second.
Madam Secretary, can we have roll call, please?
Hakeem Jones.
Aye.
Sonia Sanders.
Aye.
Heather Lewis.
Aye.
Rebecca Smith.
Aye.
Thomas LaPera.
Aye.
Derek Perry.
Aye, the ayes have it. Resolution 21-48 passes.
Thank
Well,
you.
everyone, I hope you're enjoying this weather. This weather was wacky over the weekend, but I hope it gets better. And everybody, enjoy your night and be safe out there. Can we have a motion to adjourn?
We'll move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? All right, guys, everybody, have a good night.